Tax law amendment bill is also coming in, and it is targeting largely, the digital space, agriculture, and even, the eco space as well. If you could just tell us, these are changes that are going to be affected. These are tax reforms that are going to come in. You have promised businesses that, you're going to make it a bit more stable for them. What are some of the things that businesses should be looking forward to?
One of the areas that I need to talk about in terms of the current suggested taxation measures, these measures are not being introduced to increase taxes. In fact, if you look at most of the proposals, it's basically to provide relief, to many Kenyans in the business sector. And more importantly for us in the investment, we are looking at a predictable framework. For example, in the special economic zones, where we have been giving tax rebates, we want to see, like now, about 10 years of tax predictability, so that somebody can make a calculation of their capital and see how they can provide investment in an environment that is much more predictable. It is much more, you can predict with accuracy your profits and your expenditures. So it is those kind of issues that we are now pushing so that we can ease the challenges that happen in the business space.
All right. Ambassador, maybe if you could just chime in. Of course, taxation reforms are always an issue in every single country. When it comes to investment promotion coming into the country, considering that we have to grow, our foreign direct investments, how exactly does this usually impact potential investors?
Yeah. So the conversation we had with the minister and the business sectors here is that in order to attract investment, first you have to treat those who are here well. So the investors who are already in the country need to make business and good business in order to attract further investment. And for attracting investment, you need to have a stable policy framework, and most importantly, a stable tax regime. Because any investor will make a calculation. In 5 years, in 10 years, I can make that much profit. Is it good that I go to Kenya? Should I go to Tanzania or to Singapore or wherever? So for that to make, they need to know what are the parameters. And if the parameters are changing all the time, every investor will say, oh, let's wait and see, let's let the dust settle and then we'll see. So that's what, from our point of view as EU, we said, the first thing we need is predictability. So you decide on your frame, and hopefully it's better than the neighboring countries, because otherwise you will lose out.
Right.
So you have to be more attractive than the competitors. And then whatever you decide, you stick to it for some time.
Right. Duration is also very important. The ambassador has said, they want to wait until the dust settles. So, Bwana CS, you're the best person to answer this. When will the dust settle?
The dust is settling. Right now, I think you mentioned earlier that the economy is doing well. So I think those are good signs of the dust settling. But more importantly, now we are in that process of making laws that address some of the issues that Ambassador has raised. In fact, there was a debate today in Parliament on this bill. So we expect in the next few months we will have it. We have most of those bills passed, and therefore that then will be a good beginning, to the reform process that we are actualizing.
Right, Ambassador, you can help us, rally up some of those investors because the dust is settling.
Yeah. So for us, I think it's very important to see that the government is responding to the needs of the private sector.